Are you losing your mind trying to format dialogue properly? Well, you came to the right place for help. Welcome to Dialogue Formatting Part 2, a teacher helper video by me, Ashley Marshall. In this video, we're going to look at how dialogue is supposed to look on a page, how to use speech tags effectively, and how to properly punctuate dialogue. Let's go. Our first important rule for dialogue formatting is that whenever you have a new speaker speaking, you need a new paragraph. You'll notice that on this page, we've got several lines that don't go all the way to the far right side of the page. Why is that? It's because we need a new paragraph for a new speaker. So dialogue visually on the page looks very different than other types of writing because we don't use all of the space on the page. But keep in mind that for the same speaker, we do not need a new paragraph. Well, what do I mean by that? In this sample here, it says, "I'm still not sure what I want to do with my life," she said thoughtfully. "When did you know that you really wanted to be a law clerk?" "You'll know when you're doing what you love," he replied. You might notice here that we did not start a new paragraph because she was still talking. It was another sentence, but it was not a new speaker, so we didn't need a new paragraph here. We need to use a variety of speech tags in a variety of places. If you're not sure about speech tags, go back to video 1 of dialogue formatting and you'll get an understanding of what they are. But we need to use a variety of them in a variety of places. What do I mean by that? She asked him, "Where would you like to go for dinner tonight?" "I'm not fussy at all. How about you?" he whispered. "I was thinking," she mused, "that I'd like to try that new Indian place in town." We've got a number of speech tags in here, and we didn't just use she said, he said, she said, he said. We mixed it up a little bit. We used a variety of speech tags. She asked him, he whispered, and she mused. And you'll notice that they're all in different places. She asked him comes before the direct speech. He whispered comes after what he said, and she mused. Well, that's actually in the middle of what she was saying. Dude, it looks like you just broke one of your own rules. In part 1, I talked about always beginning with a capital letter, and you may have noticed that here, there's no capital letter. Well, in fact, it is not the beginning of direct speech. It looks like this. "I was thinking that I'd like to try that new Indian place in town." We just happen to stick "she mused" in the middle of it. The word "that" does not need to be capitalized. We also talked about always ending with punctuation. Now, there are 5 types of punctuation that are typically used for direct speech: a period, a question mark, an exclamation mark, a comma, and this thing, which is actually called an ellipsis. But the most common actually is a comma, and you'll see why very shortly. Taking a look at this dialogue that we first looked at in part 1, Jen asked, "May I go to the movies with my friends tonight?" "Not on a school night, dear," her mother answered. "You're so unfair, I never get to do anything fun." You'll notice that we have different punctuation here at the end of each direct speech: a question mark, a comma, and an exclamation mark. You may also notice that punctuation goes inside of the quotation marks. Looking at this dialogue from part 1, she asked him, "Where would you like to go for dinner tonight?" "I'm not fussy at all. How about you?" he replied. "I was thinking," she mused, "that I'd like to try that new Indian place in town." In each case, the punctuation is inside of the quotation marks. We need to always separate direct speech and speech tags with punctuation. Again, speech tags and direct speech need to be separated by punctuation. Looking at this example here, the speech tags are noted in blue and the direct speech noted in green, and each are separated by punctuation marks. Let's look closely. This comma separates the speech tag "she asked him" from the direct speech. This question mark is separating the question from the speech tag "he replied." And here we have a comma that's separating the speech tag from the direct speech, and also after the speech tag, we have another punctuation here. First, we got to learn the rules and then we can break them. "I love you," he whispered, is actually incorrect. Why? Well, you see, this period here is creating a problem. It's making "he whispered" into a sentence fragment. The correct formatting is actually this. We need to put a comma there instead. Because when a speech tag follows direct speech, the direct speech cannot end with a period. This is an exception to the rule that you need to take note of. I hate you, she yelled. We have an exclamation mark, and that's fine. Where? They inquired. The question mark is also fine. The problem with the sentence fragment is only created with the period, and so a comma is used there. And that actually explains why commas are so common in formatting dialogue. Now it's your turn. Here's a sample. Pause the video and see if you can make the corrections on this sample. There's several of them that I put in there deliberately. Let's see if you can come up with them. When you think you're done, go back in the video and look at it properly formatted and see how you did. In this video, we've looked at how dialogue is supposed to look on a page, how to use speech tags correctly, and how to properly punctuate dialogue. If you're interested in knowing the two purposes of apostrophes, what contractions are, and what apostrophes have to do with possession, then you need to check out Avoiding Awkward Apostrophe Appearances Always, another teacher helper series by me, Ashley Marshall.
Ooh, a subscribe button, a Facebook button. Ooh, go on, click. You know you want to. They're right there. You can do it. I believe in you. Click.